Hello everyone, my name is Savan. Today I'm going to show you how to use basic right triangle trigonometry. To do that, we will be using this expression called Sohcahtoa. I will explain what this expression is, but right now I need you guys to know the side that is closest to the angle theta is called the adjacent. The side that is the furthest from the angle theta is the opposite, and the longest side of the triangle is the hypotenuse. And to find the side length of a triangle, we will be using the equation a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So we can say that that is the equation for the side length of a triangle, and the other one is for the angle. Now back to Sohcahtoa. Sohcahtoa, the S in Sohcahtoa means sine. The C in Sohcahtoa is cosine. The T is called tangent. Now, SOH means sine theta is equal to opposite over the hypotenuse. Cosine, ca, means cosine theta is equal to the adjacent over the hypotenuse. Tangent means tangent theta is equal to the opposite over adjacent. Cosecant is the reciprocal of sine. Secant is the reciprocal of cosine. And cotangent is the reciprocal of tangent. So cosecant theta is equal to hypotenuse over opposite. Secant theta will be equal to hypotenuse over adjacent. And cotangent theta will be equal to adjacent over the opposite. Now let's look at some problems. Here we have a triangle. Let's say we have a length of 8 and 6, and we're trying to find the hypotenuse. To find the length of a triangle, we will use a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So a squared would be 8 squared plus 6 squared equals c squared. So it would be 64 plus 36 equals c squared, which is 100 equals c squared, and we're going to square root them. So 10 equals c, which means that the missing length, which is the hypotenuse, is equal to 10. Now let's use this. Let's use this using Sohcahtoa. If we're trying to find theta using Sohcahtoa, we would first have to analyze the sides of the triangle. The side that's closest to theta is called the adjacent. The furthest one would be the opposite, and the longest side is the hypotenuse. So let's choose sine. Sine theta is equal to sine theta is opposite over hypotenuse. So our opposite here is 6 over the hypotenuse, which is 10. And this is equal to 3/5. If we would to use cosine, would be cosine theta is equal to the adjacent over the hypotenuse. So the adjacent here is 8 over the hypotenuse. Our hypotenuse is 10. Which is equal to 4/5. And finally, if we use tangent theta, tangent theta, it would be opposite over the adjacent. So opposite is 6 over the adjacent, which is 8, which that is equal to 3/4. Now that we found this value, we can easily find the other three, which are cosecant theta, which would be the reciprocal of sine theta. So it would be 5/3. And we can also find secant theta is the reciprocal of cosine, so it would be 5/4. And we have cotangent theta would be the reciprocal of tangent theta. That would be 4/3. Now let's look at another example, because this one is going to be different from the other ones. Let's say we have a right triangle with a given angle and a given side, and it's asking us to find the value of another side. So first we need to analyze this triangle. So the side closest to the angle is called the adjacent, and the side that's furthest to the angle is called the opposite. Now, what uses adjacent and opposite in the equation? That would be tangent. So we will be using tangent to solve this equation. Tangent 34 degree is equal to opposite over adjacent. Our opposite is unknown, and our adjacent is equal to 3. So to solve this, we will cancel out the 3's, and we will multiply the other side by 3. So these cancels out, and now we're left with 3 tan 34 degree is equal to the missing length. So missing length is equal to, you would have to use a calculator for this, so I'm going to use it on mine. 334. This is how it should look like in my this is how it looks like on my calculator. And if I press equal, this is my value. 2.02. That 2.02 is what the missing length is. 2.02 is the value of the missing length. Now let's look at another example. So now we have a right triangle with a given angle of 53 degrees and a given length of 6. And it looks like we're trying to find the missing length of the hypotenuse. So we have to analyze the triangle. So the furthest side of the triangle from the angle is called the opposite, and the longest side of the triangle, which is here, is the hypotenuse. So what uses the hypotenuse and the opposite? It is so we will be using sine in this equation. Sine theta, sine 53 degrees, because our angle is given, is equal to the opposite over the hypotenuse, and our opposite is 6 over the hypotenuse, which is unknown. So to solve this, we would have to multiply each side by the hypotenuse. So now they cancel. And now we have the hypotenuse sine 53 degrees is equal to 6. Now we will divide both sides by sine, because we want to leave the hypotenuse alone. Sine 53 degrees, and we will do the same thing over here. So now we are left with 6 over sine 53 is equal to the hypotenuse. And so the hypotenuse is equal to have to do that on the calculator. So this is how I'm going to do it. This is how I plugged it in to my calculator. Press equal, and this is what I get. So our answer is 7.513. Just round it up. So there you go. This is the value of the hypotenuse. Now, let's say we are asked to find the angle given two side lengths. So we would do the same thing, analyze. So what is the side that's closest to theta? That is the adjacent, and the longest side is the hypotenuse. So these are the two sides that has value, and what uses the hypotenuse and the adjacent in the equation? That would be cos. So we are going to use cosine. So cosine theta is equal to the adjacent over the hypotenuse. Our adjacent is equal to 4, and our hypotenuse is equal to 7. So now that we have the value, this is what you're going to do in the calculator to find the angle. You would plug in cosine to the -1 multiplied by 4 divided by 7. Which will equal our angle theta. So theta is equal to, plug it into the calculator. On my calculator, I have to press shift cosine, and to get cosine to the -1, and then put parentheses 4 divided by 7. So this is what I wrote in my calculator. Press equal, and this is the value. So theta is equal to 55 degrees. Thank you everyone for watching on how to use basic right triangle using trigonometry. If you have any question, you can ask me in the comment section below. And if you like to watch me teach, you can support me by liking the video and subscribe. Goodbye.